This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And we are being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Again, on the job 24/7. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, longtime friends here in Cheyenne. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Sweet D in the Greenway Commons. Again, Joe has been serving up Paisan cuisine for many, many years. Again, bringing that East Coast style here to Cheyenne, Wyoming. Again, we've loved it, and we continue to love it. Always freshly made Monday through Sunday. Mondello's Pizzeria in Cheyenne. First Tier Bank directly across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, offering right now a 3.1 annual percentage yield on a 27-month CD. Talk with our good friends over at First Tier Bank today. 1508 Stillwater Avenue here in Cheyenne. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. The Auto Body Shop can be found over on Dunn Avenue. The Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Or remember, at the Auto Glass and Detail Center, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean. That means it's got to be perfect. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center here in the Cap City. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs with your doctor's prescription. Let Gene and the great staff take care of all of those amenities for you. And again, Medicap Pharmacy with one convenient drive-through. They also have a great store inside to check out all kinds of other stuff you may need. And oh, by the way, they're open Monday through Saturday. Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done the old-fashioned way. Banking done the high-technology way. Banking in between, always on Banda High and at the corner of College and Pershing. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. The lot is filled with 2019s. It is time now to get out, come out of that cocoon, and check out what Kia has. AJ and the great staff want you to take a test drive of the entire Kia family. Find the Kia of your dreams and then take it home from Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. Busy times for them right now, especially with their cater outs. And oh, by the way, check them out, CheyenneChicken.com. 3 Squares served up Monday through Saturday. Delicious eats and treats always from Chick-fil-A. Corner Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. Your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, along with travel trailers. This is the year you want to pony up and get a Jayco RV because right now financing rates are fantastic and they've got some special prices for you on the lot. Over on Highway 30, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And we want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne. Oh, by the way, if you did not know, Taco John's celebrating 50 years next week. So congratulations to Taco John's of Cheyenne. Matter of fact, over on our sister station, 1480 KRAE, we're going to talk with CEO Jim Creel coming up next Monday morning.
Station 1480 KRAE?
KYOI.
There you go.
All right, you know what? Again, you don't do 2 jobs. So you might want to try it one time. Anyway, over on our sister station, KYOI, we'll be talking with Jim Creel coming up Monday morning at 7:50. Right now at Taco John's, they are enjoying their sirloin steak burrito promotion. Whether you have it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it's there for you right now. Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we get things underway with our scoreboard. It is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Local baseball from last night at Powers Field, where Cheyenne Post 6 gets the victory over the Casper Oilers by a final of 12-7. We'll talk more about that game coming up, but again, Cheyenne Post 6 victorious last night at Powers Field, and they moved to 17-6 overall. NHL action for tonight, well, there is none due to the fact that St. Louis got the win yesterday, late last night in Boston against the Boston Bruins. 3-2 final in overtime, where that series is now tied 1-1. But again, no NHL action for tonight.
Me?
That would be you.
Major League Baseball matinee performances, another ineffectual outing for Kyle Freeland. However, the Rockies are hitting the ball as well. And they've moved to the top of the 6th inning where the Rocks lead the Diamondbacks 8-5 at Coors Field, looking for 3 out of 4 against Arizona. Finals in the books. It was the Cardinals defeating the Phillies 5-3. Holy cow, I can't believe this one. Giants topped the Marlins. Wow, 3-1. Unbelievable. Games getting underway when we leave. Red Sox at the Yankees, Brewers at the Pirates. It will be the Twins and the Rays in the Trop, Royals, Rangers at Globe Life in the 6 o'clock hour, also in the 6 o'clock hour. Indians at the White Sox, and the late games on the left coast will be the Mets at the Dodgers and the M's hosting the Halos. No.
I was just saying, there's still one more important thing.
I know where I'm going to be geared up at tonight in front of the tube because it is hoops. NBA championship is finally here. Warriors will be at Toronto to face the Raptors in the Scotiabank Arena. That will tap our time at 7 p.m. Now, our scoreboard is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be
offers plenty of standard features for the money, and we're all about saving you money. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to keyofcheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 64. If tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 42. On Friday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 70. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy once again with lows around 45.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perotti along with Nick Perotti, and we bring on our first special guest. We thank her so much for joining us, and we are talking with Victoria Matiash, who is the NHL writer for ESPN.com. So, Victoria, welcome to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Thanks a lot for having me, guys, although I have since learned, after I accepted your lovely invitation to come on your show, that you are, I understand, you're Golden State fans?
You got that right. Absolutely. Now,
Well,
you got wait. You got a problem? You got a problem with that?
Well, I'm in my city of Toronto right now, where I have spent most of my life. And as you know, we've got a big game coming up tonight. So perhaps right this moment, we're not going to be the best of friends.
It's ironic, Victoria. I was born in the East Bay Area way back in like 1957. And I was about 30 minutes away from the Coliseum, so for me, once I was old enough to drive, I got on the BART, and it would just take me out to the Coliseum and then the arena. And back in the day, when Finley owned the Oakland Athletics, he also owned the California Golden Seals back in the day, too, in the old Oracle Arena. So, yeah, I'm born and raised.
Unfortunately, that hockey team is now defunct, and again, Bay Area, all you got to look forward to is San Jose Sharks.
Hey, East Bay Sports is just about defunct as well, too. So we'll get to that later on.
But either way, we brought on Victoria to talk some NHL again, where we have the Stanley Cup Final underway. Again, Game 2 last night, where, as I predicted, against St. Louis getting the overtime victory there in Boston.
I don't want to hear your stuff. Victoria, let's talk about this NHL Final. I'm kind of bummed because I actually thought Boston had the easier, once everything got, the dust settled on the East, Boston had the easier go to get to the finals. I thought they were going to be well rested. 2 games in the Garden, bingo, bango, bongo. They're going to go to St. Louis and probably wrap this thing up in 4, maybe 5. No, St. Louis wins last night. What the heck is going on?
I mean, it was first of all, St. Louis finally got back to the brand of hockey I think we've expected from them, especially the second half of this season. They brought out their physicality. They were hard hitting. They were nasty, and I think that's inevitably what brought them to overtime and then made them the eventual winners. Was the fact that they did get back to their very physical game. The Bruins matched up very well in that respect, but I think they just had that extra edge. For record, I have the Bruins in 6. I thought this was going to be a hard-fought series. Not 7 games, but I wasn't expecting the Blues to roll over either. And also, splitting in Boston, that is massive. Now they've got to win 3 of 5 to hoist the cup, and they have 3 games on home ice. So, I mean, it's looking pretty good.
Looking at this playoff scenario, or the playoffs in general for the West and as well as the East, and we'll go West. You want to talk about good old-fashioned bloodbath in the West, and whoever came out of the West, and of course it's St. Louis, boy, you want to talk about being battle-tested. I mean, they got their lumps, even though they kind of had it easy against Winnipeg, St. Louis, but you look at San Jose, they had a battle the likes of Vegas, and the Avalanche took them to task, and of course a great series between St. Louis and San Jose, but the Western winner is the one that's really battle-tested.
I would agree to a point. Yeah, no, you're right. I would agree. I think basically the story of the entire Stanley Cup playoffs in 2019 on both sides of the bracket have been the upsets. Just what we weren't expecting. I mean, oh my goodness, the Avalanche, and I know they're just down the road from you guys, so you have to be supporting them, I imagine. But the Avalanche beating Calgary and Sharks squeaking it out in Vegas. I mean, who saw Dallas beating Nashville? And then, of course, the Blues. They weren't supposed to beat Winnipeg. Remember, guys? They were not supposed to win that series. We're talking about the worst team in the NHL on New Year's Eve, and they managed to be one of the best teams rather handily in the first round. So it was very tough. It was also very unexpected. And I think basically this whole story of the 2019 playoffs has really gone to tell that parity is alive and well in the NHL. No matter where your team is at halfway through the season, there's still a lot to hope for, and there's still a lot to happen once the postseason gets underway.
And again, keeping on that theme, where again we saw the upsets, even on the eastern side, where a Tampa Bay team that had the most points in the NHL, winning the President's Cup, getting upset there by Columbus. The defending Stanley Cup champion Washington Capitals getting upset by Carolina Hurricanes. You saw a lot of those scenarios in 2019. Did that help the NHL? I mean, when you have those scenarios where those top dog teams go down early in the first round, where we had all 4 wildcards move on, did that help the NHL game, fans? Did it hurt them? I mean, what was your opinion of those upsets?
Okay, there's two schools of thought here. There's the positive aspect is just what I just mentioned. Is the fact that you can be supporting any team. Parity is great. You're not down and out. Your team can be struggling so long as they're, your team can be struggling early on and there's still hope. All you have to do is make the postseason and then anything can happen. I think Columbus against the Lightning was basically illustrated that perfectly. Anything can happen if you make it to the playoffs. On the other side, we love dynasties, right? You love to hate the best. There's something to be said for the regular season also has to be worth something. So I really feel for fans of teams like Tampa Bay in particular where you run roughshod, you just have a historical year, and then you're knocked out unceremoniously. It's got to be a massive letdown. So I think there's two sides to that coin. I'm not sure which side I generally sit on. I celebrate parity for all the reasons I've mentioned, but at the same time, there is something to be said for all the work you put in the regular season, the success you enjoyed, and also the sanity of it all. You know what I mean, guys? Like, it's just, this postseason has been a little insane, and that's sort of hard. As fun as it is, it's also, there's something to be said about not enjoying that chaos either, not being able to rely on, this team is going to be good because they have been, right?
Absolutely. And again, it has been fun to watch these playoffs again where you don't know what to expect, and it's come down to a wire in a few series. But again, as we talk about as well with the upsets of this playoffs here in 2019, but also to big controversy that's kind of affected a team down south that you mentioned with the Colorado Avalanche, also to affected the Vegas Golden Knights in their series with San Jose. It's almost a theme with the San Jose Sharks as they got into the playoffs this year. But the big takeaway as well, too, were the controversial Game 7 calls, or at least missed penalty calls. For instance, again, the major that should have been a minor in Game 7 against Vegas and San Jose. The offsides call in Colorado for that series, that was also two in Game 7. Talk a little bit about the, at least, implications of that, where, again, the NHL came out and apologized, which is, you can only do so much, especially with those fan bases not being too happy about receiving an apology. But, again, talk about the ramifications about the at least calls by the refs, and will we see anything by the NHL and also to Commissioner Bettman do anything in this offseason to at least help the refs, or at least make this a little bit better in 2020 come those playoffs?
Well, I mean, like it or not, and there's plenty of fans, a good gaggle of fans who don't even like the video review aspect right now, and like to go back to the olden days when you just leave it on the ice, the refs are going to make mistakes, it's part of the game, yada, yada, yada. That's fine. There's absolutely no way the NHL is going to leave this as is. Because once you bring in video review to a point, and you're able to review offsides and goal interference and all these different things, and then you're not able to review others, then now you're playing with fire a little bit. So I would predict, like it or not, that the NHL is going to move in the direction of increasing video review, helping the refs out more to make the right call. Again, I don't think the purists and the traditionalists are going to love that, but I think that is the direction we're going to eventually move in. And, I mean, it is further to the irony of what happened against the Avalanche, and that was awful. And then you have the Timo Meier hand pass that favored the Sharks over the Blues, and they won that game, and then the Blues just, turned around right away and manhandled them to move on to the final. So, I mean, you can still bounce back from bad calls. I know the Avalanche is a completely different scenario. I understand that. But it's very interesting just how what the Sharks got away with came back to bite them in the behind when they were playing the Blues. Well, it didn't bite them, but everything switched after the Timo Meier hand pass. It's been a very interesting postseason from the point of view of referees making mistakes, and they always have made mistakes, but we're more exposed to them now with all the different reviews we can use and cameras and everything else.
We're talking with Victoria Matiash, who is the NHL writer for ESPN.com, talking to us live from Toronto, Ontario. Victoria, let's talk about the NHL in general, especially the different looks that we've had in the playoffs. Has it brought more eyes to the NHL? Again, everybody's a fringe fan of hockey, but when you have, like you said, there's no dynasties that are actually on the ice. Washington said adios. Tampa Bay was ousted early. Winnipeg, they were the front runners on the west side, but all these guys were gone in the first round, and all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute. let's check in on that Vegas San Jose series, or let's go with Carolina and the Islanders. Did we see more eyes tuning in for the playoffs?
Well, again, I mean, here's two sides to the coin once again. Those of you if you were not supporting the Carolina Hurricanes or the New York Islanders, and you were a fair weather hockey fan, you're probably not paying as much attention to that series if it had been the Washington Capitals and the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? So you're not going to pay as much attention. Now, and like the Rangers weren't in the postseason, the traditional hockey markets, the Chicago Blackhawks weren't in the postseason. And no, I don't think the NHL is thrilled from a television revenue point of view. I don't think they're thrilled about any of that. On the flip side, you have the Carolina Hurricanes going on this magical run, and that is excellent for Carolina, for Raleigh, for hockey fans right there, and that's going to grow the game. It's the same as what we've seen what's happening in Nashville in the last few years and what continues to happen. So long term, the stronger the individual franchises become, the more invested their fan bases become, that's going to be greater for the game. The Avalanche, if they start to win, I already know that they have a pretty healthy market there already, but they'll grow further. So outside of, again, the traditional, your Montreals, your Rangers, your Torontos, what have you, the better that the non-traditional markets do long-term for the game, it's going to grow. This league grows in popularity every year. So I don't think this is a great playoffs for hockey fans in general across the board, but it has been very good for those individual franchises, and I think that's great long-term.
My final thought, and we want to thank you in advance for joining us again, and we'll get your thoughts too on the Hoop series before we
absolutely
say,
yeah.
We
know where you're going to go, but
yeah. Real quick here, what's the future of the National Hockey League after these playoffs? What can we expect out of Gary Bettman's office? What can we expect on the ice? What do you see in your crystal ball?
In terms of expansion or anything,
a little bit. Give me the Heinz 57, the Heinz 57 of the National Hockey League right now.
Well, I think that's basically what we were just talking about. I think it's continuing to grow the game. We're going to see the team in Seattle. That's super exciting, especially for the West Coast. And I don't see any major changes. I mean, Bettman hasn't made a lot of drastic moves in his tenure to date. I think there's going to be more video review brought in. I think there's going to be even more. I think the head injuries is still a big issue for players and teams, and also for parents who are putting their kids into the game. And I think, again, with the hit we saw last night, the Sunkist hit on Grizzlick. I mean, I think they're looking at that still now. I don't know if he's been suspended a game or not. But anyway, I think they're going to look to improve player safety, and I think there's going to be a greater use of video review, like it or not, and I know a lot of people don't like it. We're looking to expand and bringing in Seattle, and other than that, I don't see any drastic changes, not in the next 4 or 5 years anyway.
But either way, again, at least NHL looking to go in the positive route, especially hopefully that franchise expansion out, at least with Seattle. But again, NHL, as it looks like it's doing a lot better than it was a few seasons ago. But again, final thought for me, again, as we appreciate you joining us here today, Victoria. Again, as we got the at least understanding earlier, at least in this interview, and we'll give you that opportunity, I went Golden State in 5, go figure, as I'm wearing the Steph Curry jersey right now, again, with how historic today is going to be. I do believe Pops Crossway went with Golden State in 6, but you're a Toronto native. Again, you love your beloved Raptors. Where do you see Toronto, again, if you believe that Toronto's going to get it done against this dynasty right now, how many games is it going to take Toronto to beat Golden State?
Okay, listen, if I was a wagering woman, I am not wagering on Toronto. The Golden State is a dynasty. They seem unbeatable to me. I'm not saying the Raptors don't have a chance. We're obviously rooting for them, but I'm going to tell you guys something. Having this team go to the first NBA final in franchise history, this city has absolutely been galvanized. It is so electric here right now. In my mind, we've already won a little bit. You know what I mean? This already feels like a massive victory. I just don't want them to get swept. I don't think they are going to get swept. I would also pick Golden State in 6. Sadly, that's with my head, not my heart. I'm hoping it goes 7. I'm hoping maybe, the Kawhi Leonard factor makes a big difference, and we'll see how it goes. So, anyways, let's hope for a really good series, an entertaining series, and let the best team win.
Well, Victoria, thank you so much for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We really enjoyed chatting with you, and thank you for all your insights on the National Hockey League.
Thanks, guys.
3:27 our time. We are 1480 KRAE. Got to take a break because we got to pay some bills, and we'll be back with more after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the Day at Taco John's.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Van High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Community banking for you.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Hey, check out these Super Radio buys heard only right here. Malibu Coconut Rum, 1.75-liter bottle, $22.99. Keystone Light or Ice 30-pack 12-ounce cans, $18.99. And Two Fingers Silver or Gold Tequila, 750-milliliter bottle, $11.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab & Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, first and foremost, we want to again say thank you to Victoria Matiash, who joined us on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
What was that last name?
I said
Matiash.
Matiash.
There you go.
I said Matiash. I'm sorry, Matiash. Yeah. And again, very insightful.
Toronto native, so again had a little good hoops discussion with her, but
and again too, knows her hockey.
Well, yeah. Was there any argument?
Well, no, but I'm just talking about, again, right on top of the National Hockey League scene. And again, too, home of the Toronto Maple Leafs, where she's based at. So,
again, Toronto, where especially out there, Raptors have an opportunity to win the NBA championship. Sorry, it's not going to happen this season, but it is a franchise right now in the East that kind of controls their destiny of being one of the top dogs year in and year out. Again, the only ones that can kind of contend right now are the other, again, Boston. You look at Philadelphia, Milwaukee, if they can kind of continue at least least continue trending upward. So right now, again, they're in control of being a playoff-bound team year in and year out with the core that they do have. You look at the Maple Leafs, again, 3 seed, where they took on a Boston team that's now in the Stanley Cup final competing, where, again, that series is now tied 1-1. Toronto, other than the Blue Jays, it's a town that's starting to get back into that kind of winning tradition once again.
But Toronto is a very great sports town, so don't ever sell that short. Maple Leafs, Argonauts from the CFL. You've got, again, they don't have a National Football League team, but again, they got the Toronto Argonauts who have been there for eons. You got the Blue Jays, like you mentioned, and, of course, the Raptors. So, again, 4 professional sports that are always highlighted all year round in that wonderful city of Toronto, Ontario.
But again, it was great talking with Victoria. Again, gave us a lot of insight on just what is happening right now in the NHL. At least gave her thoughts on the finals, where, again, a series that I told you, again, where I said yesterday, hey, guess what? It's going to be another high-scoring affair where St. Louis comes back, plays defense finally, plays their style of hockey, and gets it done, and that's what they did on the road against Boston. And you got to wonder if there's a little bit more momentum heading back to St. Louis, where I said yesterday that it was must-win for St. Louis. You cannot go down 0-2 against this team and expect that, again, you're going to come back out of that series. I couldn't believe if St. Louis was down 0-2, even heading back to St. Louis, they had a shot. Well, now I feel better of my prediction that I do believe, again, I can't remember, but I still go with St. Louis to get their first cup in 6 or 7. It's still a great possibility, and I think right now, heading back to St. Louis, that's all the Blues needed. You needed the one.
I don't know how much momentum, because, again, you got 3 days off now before the next contest.
Well, this is good for St. Louis, where, again, they found that brand of hockey that they've been playing that got them to this point in time. If they continue to play that brand of hockey, it's done. But Boston has no answer.
But what I'm saying is, and even Victoria mentioned, they match up well. So the point is,
this is going to be a hard-fought series as I thought it was.
Breakthrough win for St. Louis last night, huge. They could wrap it up, because the next 3 are in St. Louis. They could hoist the cup there in their home city. Don't know.
How huge would that be, again, for that fan base that has been waiting for quite some time?
But Boston's going to kick themselves for last night's game. They should not have lost.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Boston had that opportunity and just let it slip out of their fingers. But, again, credit to Blues of where, it was kind of that do-or-die mentality. They needed that win, and they got it done. And, again, that defense finally kicked things up, didn't allow 4 straight goals as he did in Game 1, and got back into the thick of it. And, again, now in a competitive series, tied 1-1, heading back to St. Louis. So, looking forward to at least the remainder of that Stanley Cup final as it goes through. So,
all right. They're going to move to the top of the 8th at Coors right now, 8-5. Rockies continue to lead the Diamondbacks. Oh, by the way, by the way, the Rockies last night reached the Mendoza line. They're now 27-27, 14-12 at Coors.
Took them for a while.
Yeah, but let's get into baseball. And a very sad thing happened last night. And for me, I'm kind of torn a couple of ways on this. But again, a very small child was hit by a foul ball last night by Albert Almora Jr. And I feel like Almora did. I mean, the guy was brought to tears. I mean, you don't go into step into the box and try to hit a foul ball and hit a fan. You don't do that. I mean,
and again, a kind of helpless entity that is a child as well, where, again, it does bring out some emotion. So, again, you saw the raw, uncut emotion from him, but, again, don't disrespect, of what he did, again, especially going over, checking on of what happened in the situation, going up close to that, at least where it happened at, again, talking with the security guard, again, the infamous video and photo of him kind of embracing the security guard of just getting the update of what was happening, again, just kind of breaking down. It is a rough situation, but also to at least talking about with what happened and kind of leading up, baseball's addressed this beforehand. Again, we saw where the Nets have been a lot further back. They stretched them out even further, and again, we see that even with Major League, at least minor league baseball in the AAA, all the way down to rookie, where they've extended out those nettings due to the fact that it's happened in the past.
I even saw that when I think it was a couple seasons ago when I went up to Rapid City in their big ballpark down below.
Yeah,
they had stretched out the netting.
And I would have down up in Casper with Mike Lancy Field. They have the same situation there for the horse heads and all that. But again, MLB has they realized it was a problem years ago and extended it out to, again, try to remember my dimensions, but we're talking about it goes all the way up to at least first and third base, if I do
down
believe
the first and third base lines.
Yeah. So again, it's extended out pretty far, but again, there's still a good reach down those lines, especially those that are kind of tied up against those lines. Some of those interesting ballparks that are like right on top of the foul ball line that don't have a whole lot of leeway. They're still in that kind of remote danger.
Houston's one of those teams.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Like everything else, baseball players bigger, faster, stronger. Okay? And now we are judging how fast the ball comes off the bat. Hey, Arenado's home run, 105 miles an hour, that type of deal. So, obviously, the ball that Almora hit, even a foul ball, and you sat with me, we were up near the press box. A few seasons ago, we watched the Giants and the Rockies, and I remember Pablo Sandoval from the left side hit a foul ball, and I mean, that thing just whipped right past us. It was that hard hit. So, you don't have a lot of reaction time.
It's the same thing with in NHL or hockey games, even here with the Cheyenne Stampede. Again, in the Western States Hockey League, where with baseball, same with pucks, where again, if you find that rogue one that kind of just dinks off a stick, it can find its way into the crowd, and that's why when you go to any professional baseball, NHL sides, where at least any venue, they say, hey, watch out for pucks, watch out for baseballs. They can be coming your way, so be alert.
Yeah, and again, here's the problem that I see with Major League Baseball, and this has nothing to do with last night, okay? There's a lot of distractions that we have these days at a game. And I see it when I'm watching a Rockies game, especially those that sit, because you're getting the camera angle and you're all seeing. Let me finish.
I was saying, how about preface that we don't know what happened, at least what led to the incident last night, if it was this. But again, it is something that is a part of. It's just in sports in general, at least, and even outside of sports, it's just how the world is today in 2019 with technology and everything. But again, the scenario last night, we don't know if that was the cause of it.
And I'm not going to put any blame or fault anybody on it. But again, when I'm watching a Rockies game, and you can see, especially when the camera angle is over the third base dugout, and you got people there, they're on their cell phones. Let's be real. People sit at the dinner table now. They don't even talk. They're sitting there. They're doing their cell phone.
I don't want to talk with you, but anyways. But again,
why am I even?
It is a 20. It's like but again, it is 2019. Where yes, it is not even a trend in sports, but it's in general.
And there's so much going on at a ballpark in addition to the game on the field. You're looking at the scoreboard.
Well, it's the reason why
the scoreboard's got video graphics going on.
Well, they usually do that, obviously in transition of innings or at least half innings,
but
where
also
they put up the little flash.
But you're looking up there, Albert Almora Jr., he's hitting 255, blah, blah.
Yeah, but it's not a flashing image of doing all this extra stuff.
They're reading that image. There's so much going on. They've got flashing placards going across the boards all the time telling you, go eat at so-and-so in the upper deck, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of distractions.
That's been around for, again, this is not a recent thing, in baseball with any sport. I mean, advertising, the flash, obviously.
But people aren't going to the game and sit there, and me too. I'm not going to sit there and watch everything that goes on the field, even in between innings, because my eyes are going to go to the scoreboard, or I'm going to get up and go get something to eat, whatever. The point is, don't know what led to this last night. But again, you saw what the National Hockey League has done with the pucks.
Again, they still slip through.
I know, but they still have the intense netting behind each goal.
Yeah, but at least for netting around, or at least kind of by the benches, or at least on the sides, it's still non-existent. Where again, those pucks still can kind of fling out there. You see it in the crowds. You see it does happen. But yeah, they protect it, but those pucks still find a way to kind of trickle behind those goals.
Let me ask you this question again: a screaming Mimi that has hit the left field of Coors Field. Do you want it hitting the net, or do you want to try to catch that ball? I'm asking the question. A screaming Mimi that is a home run at Coors Field. Would you want to catch the ball,
or
yeah,
would you rather
if it's a
have
home
the
run,
other
yeah.
net?
Again, as a fan, you're wanting to catch that ball. Same with a foul ball. That's why you see folks bring gloves to a ball game. They're always anticipating that again to get that free baseball hit at any point in time. But
A small child is not going to catch that ball, though.
well, that's on the parents. And again, not to put blame on that or entities that are looking after children in attendance, but it is something where again those adults need to be aware and kind of do that protective move of, okay, realize that, or find some different seating. Again, there's other ways, but again, you bring up an issue right now with what is happening with MLB. Again, obviously, I would assume that this will be addressed in some way, but what is going to be the answer, or will MLB do anything about this of extending out those nets? I mean, what is the point, or at least how far do we extend out these nets? Do we just take it to the foul poles and then basically that's where it lies? Would that be the smart move? Again, we look at the dimensions down there in Denver with Colorado, there at Coors Field. Is that the smart thing to do right now in this situation where, again, you talk about distractions or incidents like this, and we're trying to prevent this because obviously it's a horrible thing of what happened, and also too does affect the psyche of these players clearly, as what we saw, and again, it kind of gives them a little mental anguish. Would that be the smart route right now for MLB to just say, hey, let's extend that all the way to the foul poles? Or maybe have netting around the entire ballpark. I mean, what is the option right now? I mean, what is the solution? Because there's always going to be a way that ball, again, we've seen even
slips through the cracks.
It'll slip through the cracks. We've seen foul balls that go in the second deck that are just as fast as those line drives down on field level. What is the solution right now to prevent this? I mean, what is the easy routes, or what would be the smart route right now for MLB to address this? That's $1 million question.
Yeah, it is. It is $1 million.
I would assume that brass is going to think about it.
I saw a game here the other night, and the bat slipped out of the guy's hands.
Which happens
before that used to go into the stands.
Yeah.
But thanks to the protective netting, it went off the net down.
Yeah.
So, it's got its advantages. And me personally.
And I've seen a lot of those bats, especially down at Coors, where they're going, and I sit on that, usually when the Giants are down, I'm sitting on that
third base
side where, again, I've seen a few bats come my way, especially before that netting back in the day. So it does save, but right now, is it something that we're going to eventually see that MLB just decides to extend that all the way down to the foul pole? Or find some way that –
or that netting is going to get even higher behind home plate. Again, because like I told you, that time when we went to the Giants game and Pablo hit that one, and again, that netting is high to start with, and we were sitting in the second deck. And, I mean, that thing flew right past us. That's how hard it was hit.
Yeah.
So, I just feel awful for the little kid that what happened last night. But, again, it brings up the question, do you protect all 45,000 fans at the game somehow, some way? And again, and I'm not being funny and I'm not being insensitive to this, but what I'm saying is, do we start? Because again, they're tracking how fast these balls are coming off the bat.
Yeah.
So, and think about the home run.
I mean, we're talking, exit velocities, especially on some of these home runs, are about 110 plus or something like that. Again, it's same miles per hour.
And that's what I'm saying. That begs the question.
Or even these big players, when they get plunked by something like that, that's a little like 20 miles per hour slower. I mean, that's leaving a big bruise, and they're showing, a little
Nick,
injury.
On all these ballparks, do we put netting up in the outfields too? Because
that's what I'm saying. I think that could be a possibility of where you have to figure out some way, especially if you do put it in the outfield. And again, I think the outfield is probably the one place that you don't really need to do a whole lot, especially since it's not going to really catch you off guard, so to speak. Or I really don't know. Again, what will the MLB? What will be the solution? What will be the answer to what has happened? Because clearly, they addressed the issue years ago and extended it out for the safety. And again, it had its moments, but clearly it is not the perfect system, or at least perfect outfit right now for Major League Baseball, especially of the recent incident. But what will be the answer out of this? Do we extend it just to the foul poles? Is there going to be a netting some way across the entire ballpark who knows right now? I mean, what do you do, especially since these ballparks are saying, hey, be aware. You do have other fans as well, too, that do say, hey, heads up, the classic phrase out there, watch out. There's ways to be alert, but you're going to have these incidents.
And again, too.
And you can't protect all.
The unfortunate part of this is that you try to be proactive.
And I think MLB, I would assume they would be.
But unfortunately, an incident like this causes you to be reactive now. Because it's like, well, people pay, and that little kid, mom and dad paid for that ticket. So,
yeah.
You want to make sure everybody's safe, enjoy the ball game. I mean, you even think back to the guy, and this is totally off the path. Don't take this wrong. When the guy from the Giants got jumped in Los Angeles, baseball tries to make it a friendly, safe environment for you to watch 9 innings, eat dinner, drive up.
What happened with Brian Shaw, that was outside of Dodger Stadium. That was not even in the confines of the ballpark.
I know, but I'm just saying, but Major League Baseball in general wants that performance inside to be entertaining.
Well, it is family. It is a family game, or at least MLB is trying to do that. Especially where, again, you go to any ballpark and they do have, hey, be aware, foul balls might happen. Be aware that also too, if you are profane or if you do anything extravagant, that you can get kicked out of a ball game if someone complains about it, and you do have that right to do it. So it is MLB trying to do all this stuff to at least be, a safe environment, a fun environment for all to attend. But with this situation, like I said, will they be proactive? Is there anything really that baseball can do at this point? Because, again, you can't save everyone in a ballpark, clearly.
No.
Again, it's just kind of impossible. You can't put up a fence that's going to cover all 3 decks, cover the outside, at least around the entire stadium, or anything to kind of put them in this mesh. I mean, is there a solution? Will there be a solution by MLB because of this?
Well, obviously, you expect the brasses of the MLB gathering in New York today to chat about it. Because, again, I know it's not going to fall on deaf ears, and somebody's going to say, hey, you got to make things safer because of what happened last night. And I'm not throwing that out there, again, to be heartless about it. What I'm just saying is, what can they do now to be more proactive? Because it looks like guys, I'm sorry, me, we can kind of fend for ourselves out there. Ladies, not so much, but children, they're pretty helpless.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that the children are taken care of. And like you said, it could be a one in a million type of thing that happened last night, but we don't want it to happen again.
Yeah.
So,
but again, there's a million factors. There's a million, solutions to this, or what could happen. Again, a million different odds of what was around this situation. And what will happen post this. Obviously, it's not going to happen immediately. I wouldn't anticipate that from MLB, but they're
going to have to go back, look at the film, and try to dissect because this will be a frame by frame. Okay, what happened? The people that were sitting there. Here's the the little girl. What happened? How did the little girl get hit? What did it miss? What it's going to be that one of those crazy things that just happened at the wrong time. Anyway, hopefully Major League Baseball will come up with some type of answer, because we don't have it here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words here in 1480 KRAE.
Don't move firewood. Firewood can carry insects and diseases that kill trees. Remember to always get firewood as close to your destination as possible. Burn firewood where you buy or gather it. Trees in towns and forests are threatened by native and exotic insects and diseases that can hitch a ride in a load of firewood. Let's keep forests healthy so we can continue to enjoy camping, hiking, hunting, and fishing. Brought to you by the Wyoming State Forestry Division in cooperation with the U.S. Forest Service.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Medi-Cap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. Right now it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
If you're looking for fun and adventure, Kia of Cheyenne is the place to start, and the 2019 Kia Sportage is what you need to drive. I'm AJ Miller. The 2019 Kia Sportage will give you what you need to make things happen. This vehicle has plenty of power, traction control, safety features, technology, and comfort for any road you're on. The Kia Sportage offers numerous standard features for the money, and we can help you save money. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 64. If tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 42. On Friday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 70. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy once again with lows around 45.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
And we are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Obviously, we're going to have a scoreboard update here on top of the hour, but all I can tell you Rocky fans is thank you, Mike Dunn. Thank you, Brian Shaw. Bring gasoline to the fire, and let's just blow another one.
I don't know why you score per watch of with the Rockies. Again, they're going to disappoint you no matter what.
Well, they can't disappoint me any worse than the Giants have disappointed me.
We got more important things to focus on, especially coming up tonight. Again, Game 1 of the NBA Finals is much more important than what was at least happening.
The Rockies at least have clawed their way back into relevance.
And they'll find a way to get back down in the cellar. They've done that so far in 53 games of this season. They'll do it again. Like I said, going back to what you said yesterday on the show, where you gave me guff for going to see the post-6 Sixers last night in a chilly situation down at Powers as they defeated the Casper Oilers. Again, you want to go watch the Rockies for what reason? I have no idea. Again, I'd rather watch where I said, post-6 is guaranteed win, and they're a much better squad than what's happening.
Here's what's kicking my butt today. Freeland, another terrible outing. You got Mike Dunn. I don't even know if the guy can even come in and do any type of relief work anymore. And Brian Shaw, he's come in, and I'm telling you right now, he's brought a gallon of gas, and the fire is stoked. He's given up already 3 runs and only got 1 out.
Whatever. Like I said, there's more relevant baseball here in town.
Speaking of post-6, you mentioned that last night. You were there as a
I didn't stick for long. It was super cold out there.
Which
again,
I
with
told
the wind.
you it would be.
I brought my Golden State hoodie, but that was not enough. It was freezing out there, and again, there's a lot of people bundled up. It felt like it was winter more than it was. Here we are 2 days away from June, but again, at Powers Field, home game, finally at least got this game underway. We thought that it was going to be rained out due to the recent weather this at least past couple days, but Post 6 was able to take on Casper Oilers at Powers Field. Again, as I mentioned earlier, they won 12-7, 17-6 overall on the season. As we talked with Ty before that contest, his goal was to keep it at least a kind of defensive effort, a low-scoring affair. But it is tough, again, against this Casper team. They score in bunches.
Did get a good outing, though, from Garrett Oswald.
No, yeah, again, it was a pitching by committee situation last night for Post 6 where no one really was out there to have an extending innings or at least go a full 7, go a full 9, nothing like that. So, again, you had a few pitchers in that contest, but still they got it done, got the offense. Nico Vite came in clutch on the offensive side for Cheyenne Post 6. So, again, a huge win against this Casper Oilers team. Again, an Oilers team that is favored, at least at the beginning of the season, to win the state tournament, happening up in Gillette at the end of, around August. But this is big, though, again, to kind of bolster that confidence for this team that, yes, they can still be the best team in the state. They can get it done against anyone here in this state. So as Cheyenne Post 6, again, big win last night. They got to focus and shift back at least to this weekend as they head back up to Gillette once again, as they'll see 4 straight games against 2 Billings, at least post-Legion teams.
And you're also dealing with graduation this weekend, too.
No.
I know. I'm just saying that, it's like here in our part of the world, we've got graduations.
I mean, it's not a tournament situation. Is it big if you're missing a few pieces, at least against these 2 Billings post-Legion teams?
I know, but I'm saying you got South and you got East on Saturday. You got Central tomorrow. And I do believe it's Triumph on tap for tonight. So again, congratulations to the class.
If I were those players, again, there's nothing really special about getting your graduation. Just go play baseball. Let's come on.
Really?
I mean, you're expected to graduate high school. Come on.
Sometimes the stuff you say, you might want to think about.
I'm just saying, if I was in that position, I'd rather go play baseball than attend my graduation.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're just not the
saying,
you're not the brightest bulb in the box.
School.
And again, your sophomore year was your 8 best years. Okay,
I graduated on time. I didn't get.
I'm talking about in college. All right,
that's a different thing.
Yeah, which you still haven't graduated.
That was
from.
party time.
We got a special guest coming up in our 4:00 hour. We want to promote him real quick because he has a website. Correct me if I'm wrong. 7220sports.com.
There you go.
And
it's almost like you read my notes.
No, I don't have any notes here.
Anyway, but yeah, I get it.
Anyway, Cody Tucker will be joining us here at 4:10, so we're going to talk about the website.
Talk about a brand new website that's unveiling at least coming up on June 1st.
And it's going to be pretty much University of Wyoming.
Yeah, centric. Yeah.
So, again, we're going to have a nice chat with him coming up here.
Yeah, we'll pick his brains on the website, but also to get his thoughts on UW athletics. Again, as we talk about football getting close, get his thoughts on things around that. Also to maybe talk a little basketball with Allen Edwards situation. We'll pick his brain.
And again, with the media, when you're doing these type of situations, again, you have to be kind of biased. But are you a fan on the website? I mean, are you like Larry? Larry and Nick, where we say, geez,
I'll give my opinion and be harsh.
Yeah, we're going to say, gee, Brent Vegan was getting booed left and right during that ball game. So
I'll bring up the numbers again that I have here in front of me, the infamous numbers of, say, that Craig Bowl is on the same pace of Joe Glenn and Dave Christensen, 2 entities that were fired, or at least let go of their head coaching positions after 5 and 6 seasons there at the University of Wyoming. So
no Mountain West Conference championships. Oh, by the way.
No.
All right, well, we do want to head into the 4:00 hour, so let's do so right now, and we will be back with our next guest right here in 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And it is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Again, next week celebrating 50 years here
in Cheyenne with its international office, and over on our sister station, KYOI-FM, around 7:50. Monday morning, we will be talking with CEO Jim Creel. So do join us for that. Taco John's, congratulations. Right now, they are enjoying a great promotion. It is a sirloin steak burrito. Breakfast, absolutely. Lunch, dinner, you got it. Taco John's of Cheyenne.
Will
try
they
that
be
sirloin.
bringing in free breakfast on that day?
You're not invited.
I was going to say, I'll be here.
You're not invited. Anyway, we do want to thank our good friends over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. They are your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. You are ready to tour the country? Do it in your Jayco today from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, and I'm sure they are gearing up for all of the graduation parties. And again, you go to CheyenneChicken.com. Ray and Cindy invite you to check out everything they offer as far as cater out. Of course, too, you can see what's going on at Chick-fil-A in general. Again, they serve up 3 delicious squares, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Monday through Saturday. 2 convenient drive-thrus, and the eats are always great over at Chick-fil-A. Across from Powers Field and right across from Menards at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. My good friend A.J. Miller and the entire crew invite you to come on by, kick a few tires, take a test drive, and drive home in the Kia of your dreams. Whether it's the Soul, whether you go with the Stinger, or maybe you go family style in the all-new SUV Telluride. Kia of Cheyenne has the ride that's perfect for you today. Platte Valley Bank. 2 banking locations. Eastsiders, you catch them on the way home right there at the corner of College and Pershing, the original location on Vanda High. Maybe you're looking for a home loan. Maybe you're looking for an auto loan. How about a remodel loan? How about a HELOC? Talk with our good friends over at Platte Valley Bank. They will take good care of you, as they always do. Medicare Pharmacy at the corner. Well, actually, they're on Bluegrass Circle right next door to Texas Roadhouse. Been there for a long, long time, and you will find them there Monday through Saturday for all your pharmaceutical needs. Lennox Auto Body right there on Dunn Avenue, founded by Dick Lennox, tradition carried on by his daughter Heather. 25 years they've been serving our community, and they also have the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard.
I get to see them next week on Tuesday.
That's right.
Well,
and
at least finally getting fixed.
Get rid of the moron that finally hit you. On
what do I care? They had to pay for it, so
I know, but it looks kind of
it looks tacky, but
it looks tacky, but Lennox,
I know they'll do it. I'll know
Lennox is going to.
It'll look brand new. Yeah,
you got that right. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, right across the street. You'll find Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Again, First Tier Bank open Monday through Friday. Mondello 7 days a week, Paisan cuisine at its best. Mars Plumbing and Heating, 24/7. They're on the job. You need them, call them. Don't wait. Again, good friends for a long, long time, 1515 Logan Avenue. And our scoreboard is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go back to the Nixter.
Again, recapping from last night, as we just talked about, for Cheyenne Post 6 in action against Casper Oilers at home and over at Powers Field, where they won that contest 12-7. So for Cheyenne Post 6, before they head up to Gillette this weekend to take on those Billings squads, they are 17-6 overall. NHL action for tonight, well, there is none due to the fact that St. Louis Blues got the 3-2 overtime victory last night in Boston, as that series is now tied 1-1, and it heads back to the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, so for Game 3. So no NHL for tonight.
Major League Baseball, bottom of the 8th inning at Coors Field. The Diamondbacks have climbed their way back into the game and now lead 10-8 as they've headed to the bottom of the 8th inning. Finals that are in. Cardinals in a matinee performance have beaten the Phils in Philadelphia 5-3. Giants over the Marlins at Marlins Park in Miami 3-1. Games getting underway when we step on out of here. Brewers at the Pirates as the Bucs will host at PNC. The Twins and the Rays in the Trop. It will be the Royals and the Rangers in the 6 o'clock hour in Arlington. At Chicago at Guaranteed Rate Field, the Pale Hose will host the Tribe. 8 o'clock games will have the Mets and the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. Angels M's will be at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. And wiped out due to the weather. Yeah, it's cold and rainy in Yankee Stadium. There's a bulletin. Red Sox and the Pinstripers, they will make that up on August 3rd. NBA scoreboard. Here's what's happening tonight, 7 o'clock tap time. It is Game 1 from Toronto, Ontario, and the Scotiabank Arena, where the Toronto Raptors have a date with the defending world champion Golden State Warriors. Warriors looking for the three-peat. Raptors looking for their first ever title. Game 1 on tap tonight, and that will be at 7 p.m. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find the store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Family owned and operated, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company offers many different types of rock, stones, boulders, and other decorative products that make a perfect addition to your yard or landscape. You'll find river rock, flagstone, lava rock, pavers, along with compost, mulch, and a lot more. So stop into Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company today to find out what will be best for improving your front or backyard. A family tradition since 1977, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company open 7 days a week, all season long on North Yellowstone Road in Cheyenne. Looking for an IT company with friendly, local customer service and the expertise to handle any job? Then go with a name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. We handle everything from business network management to personal computer problems to same-day phone and tablet repairs. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being, local, polite, and eager to help. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 64. Later tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 42. On Friday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 70. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy once again with lows around 45.
Here, the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Hour number 2, Larry Perletti, along with Nick Perletti and our very special guest. And we're glad that he found time to sit down in our studios with us. Talking about Cody Tucker, who is embarking on a new website, 7220sports.com, which we'll get into here in just a little bit. But for our Sports Talk fans, let's introduce you to our Sports Talk course. Again, we are YouTubing as well as Periscope via Twitter, so everybody's getting a good look at you, and those that you owe money to, they know exactly where you're at.
You almost sound like that was an insult. It was like you get a look at you.
Anyway, real quick here, Cody, thanks for joining us. Give us a little resume on you.
Well, I'm a Cheyenne, Wyoming native.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, I love it.
Anyway, go ahead.
So happy to be back. So I've been in journalism about 12 years. Started up in Douglas, Wyoming, after being at LCCC Wingspan here in town. Went to Douglas for about 4 years. Jolted down to Houston for a couple years. Covered a lot of high school sports down there. Little JUCO ball. Jalen Hurts, Alabama's former quarterback. Covered him in high school. And then did a little radio out in Florida for a little bit, and came back to Douglas and went back to ended up getting a job covering Michigan State University. So I was covering MSU for a couple years, and then got pulled away by the lure of the professional sports, which wasn't all it was cracked out to be. Ended up in Pittsburgh, covered the Pittsburgh Penguins for a while, and always had this endeavor in the back of my mind. So got back in December and
kind of return back to the home roots and talk about the lone team here in the state of Wyoming.
Let's go backwards. Here you are at the pinnacle professional sports with the Penguins, and again Steel City. I mean, when you think of the Steel City, it still belongs to the Steelers, but you got the Bucks there, you got the Pens there. No hoops. So let's talk about your experience there covering the Penguins.
Oh, it's the real deal, and believe it or not, the Penguins are the hottest item in town. I mean, they're the latest to win. They got the best player in hockey, maybe the second best player in hockey. It's been sold out every night since 2003, I want to say. So hockey is really the main sport there. The Steelers are more worldwide. The Penguins are definitely Pittsburgh's town.
Yeah.
Or it's a big Penguins town.
Now, the Bucks aren't fire sailing. They're playing baseball.
It's definitely not a Bucks town. I noticed that pretty quick.
It used to be, though. Before the Steelers got their first championship, it was – back in the Clemente and Willie Stargell days, and Danny Murtaugh was managing them. They were the team to see at Three Rivers.
The only reason why PNC is filled is more so of opposing fans just to see that ballpark. And I was there for that, but
ballpark's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's probably the best ballpark I've ever seen.
So let's talk about when you think of hockey, you don't think of Pittsburgh. I mean, I know they've got Stanley Cups there. Even when Mario Lemieux was there with the Pens. But my point is, though, I don't. That's not my first thought for hockey.
No.
But tell us about the fan base there. Got to be rabid.
Oh, they're ridiculous in a good way and sometimes in a bad way. They're wild. The fact that they got bounced in the playoffs the way they did by the Islanders was.
It was a surprise to me. I called that one.
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise to me either. That team just never clicked all year, in my opinion. But the fans were what you would expect, and the fact that they don't have a basketball team, that makes them even more rabid about hockey. And it's the real deal, man. The football, everybody's in black and gold 24/7. It actually gets pretty old.
Now you go for. I was. Go ahead, Nick.
I was to say, as we're talking about hockey, but also too talking about getting that resume for you of bouncing around from everywhere across the point here in the nation. Again, from being here in town in Cheyenne, a local product, being in school at LCCC, doing with Wingspan again as we work hand in hand with LCCC over there, doing what we do for basketball. But obviously here it is in this day and age where you could be on the road and be away from the state of Wyoming and have the ease of technology to kind of keep up things, whether it is Twitter, Facebook, blah, 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 however you may at least view news and sports and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
I would assume that you've been able, when you've been in Michigan, been in Pennsylvania, been in Florida, that you've kept up pretty well, I would assume, with the University of Wyoming of what's been happening with at least football, basketball, all that fun stuff, or again, as a true professional, have you just kind of been solely focused on what's happening here in Texas, here in Michigan State, blah, blah, blah?
Well, if this will be any indication, I remember specifically watching the Michigan State-Penn State game. It's a top 10 battle at Spartan Stadium. I'm in the press box. My phone is down here next to my computer with Wyoming San Jose State, and I'm having trouble watching the Michigan State-Penn State game. I'm a huge Wyoming fan. I didn't miss a Wyoming game for 28 years. Every home game, most road games. But right now I'm in the mode of, now I'm going to be covering the Cowboys, so I can't be that super fan anymore.
Right.
Which is, it's not easy to turn off, but it will turn off because I'm covering it like it is. This is not a fan blog. This is not a, hey, come over here and let's talk about how great, somebody's day was when we lost 50-0. That's not going to happen.
So basically of what we kind of do on our show where, again, we're kind of objective or at least give our opinion of saying, hey, it's something that we'll eventually talk to and I guess we'll bring up now.
I want to hold off.
Okay, all right.
I want to hold off because I want to go back to Michigan State. And this kind of leads into Wyoming, same with Pittsburgh. You go to these venues where it's hard to move in these places. They're packed. Same with football. They're rabid at Michigan State, Spartan Stadium.
Yep.
And then you come back out here, and it's like, you're going to sit in the arena auditorium, or you're going to sit into the war, and it's like, this is the only game in town, but yet nobody's here.
Sure. Well, when it's good here, it's great. And it's statewide. And the reason why I thought this website could work as well is being in Michigan, you can't get behind the Michigan State website, because then you're going to alienate your Michigan fans,
all right,
or even some Central fans or Western
or
Michigan
Easton,
fans.
yeah.
Yeah. Here it is the only show in town, and like the players I've talked to already, yeah, they know that. They know that there's been some downtimes, but they also know that, man, when it's good, there's literally no place better.
We're done with Cody Tucker again. He is now beginning this is going to be a very good project. It's called 7220sports.com. Nick, I'll let you go ahead and get into it.
Well, yeah, and as we were going to talk about that website and just what it includes, and again, we were kind of getting a little introductory of what it's going to be about, but also, too, wanted to pick your brain on about some of the stories, or at least some things that you will cover as we're getting close to football season there with the University of Wyoming. Something that I've talked about a few seasons now where, again, we are, we'll be objective. We'll tell how it is, especially with what's going on right now with the Cowboys, with also to head coach Craig Bull. Something that I brought up, and I want to get your thoughts on this as well too, for this upcoming season for the Wyoming Cowboys. Numbers that I've brought up, and also too of, at least I had a copy for you, but now I've lost it. But at least for numbers, as we look for the previous head coaches for Joe Glenn, 2003, 2008, he was 28-35 overall, a 44.4% win, at least percentage. You look at Dave Christensen, 2009 to 2013, 27-35. He only lasted 62 games before he was removed. That was a 43.5 overall percentage. Craig Bull, through his 5 seasons, or at least through 63 games, equating to the other 2 head coaches, he is also 28-35, 44.4% winning percentage. The only difference for Craig Bull is that he is 19-21 in Mountain West play, which is a little bit better than his counterparts of Joe Glenn and Dave Christensen, but again, it's still sub 500. Is this a make-or-break season for Coach Craig Bull if it is another rough one? If we get, we look back to last season where we finished 500, you got 4 games in a row, but they were against dud Mountain West teams, as we saw CSU, New Mexico, San Jose State, again, teams that you were expected to beat.
The rally against Air Force, which
you
should have beat.
But at least looking forward to 2019 in this season, where, again, big question marks defense, that interesting defense that was, phenomenal, that had all high remarks, is now gone. Offense, we have question marks of what it's going to be like. Is this a telltale season for Craig Bull is it kind of a make or break season for Craig Bull if it is another 500 or sub 500 season for him there at the University of Wyoming?
The simple answer is no. I don't think so. I don't feel that way anyway. I know Tom Berman wants more. He expects more. The state's put a lot into this program. The university, everybody has rallied around that program. And as you see how beautiful everything is over there, it's time to win, and it's time to be consistently battling for championships. But I don't know about you guys. I don't feel like there's any kind of win or bust this year, especially coming in with 2 unproven quarterbacks, all those defensive losses. The offensive line's been a mash unit all offseason. Wide receivers have been non-existent since Josh Allen's sophomore season.
Yeah,
it's just, I think this year right now, the way I'm looking at it, is a gigantic question mark all the way across the board. But I don't feel like it's win now. I mean, what we going to put a number on it? 7-8 wins.
I think you're stretching that.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a sub 500 season.
But the thing is,
would that be a good season? 7-8 wins. Would that be? Are we happy with that?
If I remember the press conferences from one Craig Bull, he was brought in to win Mountain West Conference championships.
Right. No doubt.
Again, 0-1, at least losing to San Diego State. So there is that. Again, 2 bowl appearances for Craig Bull as well. Lost to the Poinsettia to BYU, but won in 2007, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. But, again, where we talk about it, again, we're not bringing you in here to get you heat on you, Cody, or anything like that. But it is something where we appreciate to get your opinion since, again,
I want the standards to be higher, especially coming from Michigan State. Like, if that happened at Michigan State, they talked about D'Antonio after he went, 3-10 that one year, 2 years ago, after appearance in the Rose Bowl and the college football playoff.
Yeah.
He has one crazy bad year. I mean, it was bad.
Imagine this was Nebraska.
Right.
It's like, and we saw it last year. The Boo Birds came out.
Yeah.
The Boo Birds came out because the offense was very anemic.
I still feel bad for Frank Zolich.
Well, but again, you look at the situation where the Cowboys made a change at the QB spot. Is Sean Chambers the answer? Don't know.
Yeah, don't know.
But do we want to be a running team? Because we know the guy's not accurate with the arm.
Is
Do
Vanderwall?
we know that though yet? Really?
Well, we got a small litmus test of it last year. But Vanderwall we know has got the better arm. But here nor there on the Wyoming Cowboys, it's a big question mark. Don't know. Let's talk about 7020sports.com. Obviously, these are the things that are going to be brought to light. You're going to be in the stands. You're going to have a microphone or whatever the case may be. You're talking to Craig Bull. You're talking to Brent Vegan.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on with the offense? Why are we only getting 100 yards a game? You're going to be talking with Alan Edwards. Give us the capsulized version extended of what the goal is for 7220sports.com.
Well, you brought up a good point about Vegan, and you brought up a good point about Edwards. Who has been asking those questions? That's kind of where I'm coming from. Who's been asking those questions? And sometime when I was in Michigan, something that really set me off and really got the wheels in motion up top anyway was when Joe Tiller passed away. I saw a blurb about that big in the newspaper, and it was from the Associated Press. And I'm like, Joe Tiller was bigger than that. He was bigger than a little brief in the newspaper. And then I hear these stories about these old Cowboys and the things they've been going through after football and stuff like that. I'm not seeing anybody writing anything about it.
Right.
That's where I want to come in. I've already put in 6,000 miles on my car, I believe, going around the country doing stories with former Cowboys that have great stories. It's not just, hey, buddy, we're catching up. It's, this guy's got a great story. This guy's got something to say. And so that's kind of where I think that I don't read that stuff. And as a Wyoming fan, I've been wanting to read this kind of stuff. I've been wanting to hear what these guys are up to and their stories, and we're, of course we're going to jump into the football aspect of it, but so much happens off the field that we never hear about that stuff.
I think the only thing, if we hear anything about football, what happened years ago with the 14 incident, is that what?
Yeah, the Black 14.
Black 14 incident. I mean, that's all we hear about Wyoming football.
Yeah.
Don't want to hear about it. I mean, it was a very important time, don't get me wrong, but like you said, I want to know about Dobler.
Yeah.
Tell me what's going on with him. Vic Washington. I mean, he had some great years. Jay Novacek. So yeah, I mentioned that.
The site.
Well, same thing too on hoops.
Yeah.
Eric Lechner. Yeah. I played softball with Eric. I want to know what's life after the NBA. We all know about Fennis.
Yeah.
People don't know that Tim Brough has 2 rings being with the Houston Rockets. So I think that's kind of the nice stories that we get on the side here, and that's a good deal. Yep. But you're also going to give us everything that goes on at UW Sports Wise.
Everything. Well, obviously we're going to focus on men's basketball and football. Those are the cash cows. Those are the things people care about. When the Cowgirls go on a run, people care. And we're gonna cover them, and we're gonna have, like you got, we get the press releases, we get all that stuff. We're gonna be in the know with all of this stuff. Wrestling's got a big duel, we'll be there. Cowgirls have a big game, we'll be there. But men's football, full travel. Men's basketball, full travel. Every home game, most road games. I don't know if I can see myself in February on a Wednesday night in San Jose, but.
Why not? It'd be a lot warmer than out here.
In February, we found ourselves in Powell. So
we were snowed into Rock Springs with LCCC. So, but at least get an understanding about this website again of these pieces of former greats with the University of Wyoming, but also talking about the here and now, asking the interesting questions of something that we respect as we kind of do that, where we give those kind of pressing questions to a Brett Vegan or to an Alan Edwards or to as Craig Bull called him an armchair quarterback on air of, again, where we press those coaches of saying, hey, here's what's going on. We're not happy with it. Again, we respect of what you're about to do. But about this website, what is kind of the target audience? Is it just for Wyoming fans? Are we looking just, whoever's interested, kind of age group, again, where we're talking about, he's bringing up names where for me, I'm not a devout Cowboy fan. I went to the University of Idaho. Again, I grew up here in town, but did not follow those teams very, at least devoutly. And again, don't know a lot of the Wyoming greats.
Yeah.
Is it really going to be aimed for me? Is it something that we're trying to reach for someone like me? I mean, what is the kind of audience for this website?
It'll be everybody. Mostly, of course, we have a. Here's what I always thought about too when I started this was, we have 128,000 alumni out there floating around in space.
Absolutely.
Do you think they're going to – so Cheyenne's paper and the Casper paper cover the Cowboys. Think somebody who grew up in Denver and went to Wyoming is going to buy a Cheyenne newspaper or a Casper newspaper?
No.
I feel like they're not getting the stuff, unless you want the PR stuff from online, from the Cowboys website. So I feel like those guys aren't getting anything. And then I feel like reaching back to these stories about these old guys, I reached out to guys that, from as little as 2 years ago to 10 years to 20 to 30. I'm trying to get those, not to mention they're just great human interest stories in general. You find yourself after you write these stories that there's so little about sports in them sometimes because they've lived such an extraordinary life. So, for instance, when I first got to Michigan, I said, hey, has anybody heard from Charles Rogers? I have not. That's one of the names that came to mind about Michigan State. They said, no, but if you find him, I'll send you to Mars if he's on Mars. I found him working at a chop shop in Fort Myers, Florida. We didn't talk about football. We talked about the train wreck that has become his life, where he's been off the map for 12 years, and he's working in a chop shop now in Florida with 8 kids from 4 different women and not with any of them, and lives in the projects. And this is a guy who had a $17 million signing bonus with the Lions as a number 2 overall pick. Yeah. Arguably the greatest player in Michigan State football history, who's totally downtrodden, totally just...
Which is big in itself of how did this happen? And obviously it's going to bring in folks of like, yeah, I'm curious, what happened to you? Again, you were this great, and how did this lead to this? And how do, at least for me, how do I avoid what just happened to you?
What happened? Yeah, and also like Tony Mandrich was a good example. His story's been told a million times, but I went down to Phoenix and sat with Tony for a day. Learned all kinds of new stuff about him. Learned all kinds of new stuff about the program. Nick Saban recruited him. Nick Saban likes to turn a blind eye. I don't know if you guys saw the Mandrich story on ESPN.
We talked plenty about that one.
Yeah, he didn't know he was on steroids. Did you know that? Do you believe that? Yeah, so guys like that. Another good example was a guy named Boo Boo Thompson who played for the Spartans. He's in an insane asylum outside of Chicago for murdering his neighbor. People talk about it on the street like, remember Boo Boo Thompson? I'm going to go talk to Boo Boo Thompson. I sat in an insane asylum for 3 days in Chicago with Boo Boo Thompson.
As you talk about this website, and that's all fine and well too, the pokes of the past, and that's I'm going to be interested, and I think every corner of the state is going to want to know, from Evanston to Jackson to Sundance. Everybody's going to be wired up to that. But what are you going to be talking about of today? For example, last year, as I called them, defections from basketball from Alan Edwards' team, where he kind of said, well, it's not really defections, this is what's going on. He kind of lightened it up a little bit. How are you going to present it when 4 or 5 guys are gone? And again, I'm just throwing that out as an example.
It's a great example.
How are you gonna sugarcoat that?
Well, it's
on
a great
the website?
example. Who has reached out to the guys that left? Do we know why they left? We're asking the coach. Why not ask the guys? Because they don't have a team.
See, that's
right
what
now.
we're not getting, and that's what I'm asking you.
Right.
Are you going to be the guy?
Hell,
And again,
yes,
too, you still have to have the journalistic objectionality, I guess that would be the word.
Sure.
So, but are you going to be in some way, shape, or form a little slanted sometimes, where you and me as a fan, we saw the 3rd down and 10 call and you're running the ball, or we watched the game and it was run, pass. Are you going to be that guy to say, hey, wait a minute,
Yeah. I'm not that uber, looking at the glass half empty kind of guy all the time.
Right.
I can't stand those guys either. There's a happy medium. It is what it is. You saw it. I saw it. If there's a reason I can tell you behind why they did it, I'll ask them. There's a good question. I'll ask them. Why in the hell are you running the ball on 3rd and 10?
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. We are talking with Cody Tucker. He is going to be, I think, June 1st, a couple days away. Yeah, Saturday. He's going to be opening up the new website, 7220sports.com. Back after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Capital Lumber is number 1 in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is lumber one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. Under the definition of fun in the dictionary, they need to include 2 more words: Wyoming Downs. It's the perfect way to have fun with new and even more exciting simulcasting games on display, including Classic Heat, Great American Racing, Samurai Legacy, plus the Great Jackpot. That's just a sampling of fun that's happening today at Wyoming Downs. Make sure to get your player's card to enjoy triple points on Sundays, double points on Mondays. There's Mystery Moolah every Friday and Saturday, plus other special promotions going on at Wyoming Downs, with 2 fun locations in the Cheyenne Plaza at 3617 East Lincoln Way and at the Outlaw Saloon at 312 South Greeley Highway. Remember, for more information, go to wydowns.com. Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the day at Taco John's.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Cody Tucker joins us again on Wyoming Sports Talk today. A very special time in his life. And again, with that brings on, a lot of responsibility. But you know about websites too, Nick, and keeping them fresh, keeping them active.
Well, if I can have entities at least fix our website, yeah, I know a bit about it, but at least regarding 7220 Sports, again, as it's going to be unveiled, as you've been kind of promoting it, again, it will be at least fully developed here coming up this Saturday. Give us a little insight about the website. Will it be, we know that some, at least subscription-based websites do have some of these stories hidden. We understanding of kind of what Patreon is of, hey, here's some free stuff, but you have to pay for it. I mean, is it going to be free to all to enjoy this website? Do you have to pay for certain stories? I mean, what's kind of the structure there for folks who want to at least explore this website?
It will be absolutely free, 100%. 100% across the board. I feel like because Wyoming is the only show in town, we're the only state that can say that. We have one 4-year university. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to sell the ads. That's how I'm going to survive, and that's how I'm going to do it. And it's not going to be one of those ad-bogged-down, miserable experiences on a website either. I want some Wyoming companies. I want some companies that I can promote and really help them. They help me. And that's not just lip service. That's really, I'm coming home to Wyoming. If you look behind the scenes, I'm coming home to Wyoming to start a small business. So that's who I am too. So I want to work with these people. I did the subscription thing in Pittsburgh. I worked for DK Pittsburgh Sports. He had, that's Pittsburgh. We talked about that. That's a rabid following. He has a subscription base and he has an ad base. I don't want subscriptions. I think subscriptions turn people off immediately. But I understand people need to get paid too. I mean, I've worked in the newspaper industry for 12 years. It's tough. It's brutal right now. But I'm going to give these people stuff for free, and whatever it takes. And I've already been out there hitting the trail, walking into businesses and the super uncomfortable stuff.
Hey, welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, too, on the 7220sports.com site. Is it all UW-based, or is there Douglas, something about the Bearcats or anything going on in Powell or Cokeville, the Panthers? Is it all UW?
It's all UW, but we will branch out and do some Mountain West stuff as well. If there's a great story Mountain West-wise, we'll do it. The one thing I think is good in Wyoming, believe it or not, we have really great small-town papers in Wyoming compared to the rest of the country. So these small towns do a really good job of covering their high school football teams, and I think that's where people will go for their high school stuff. I think where it's been hard is, and Wyo Preps, of course, but I think people are not – they don't have anywhere to go for Wyoming Cowboys stuff unless they want a Casper Star and get stopped by the paywall at the Tribune Eagle. There's just nowhere else to get Wyoming Cowboys stuff. I have been asking people for a year now, where do you get your Wyoming news? And 9 times out of 10 I hear, on Wyoming's website. Well, that's not really news. You know what I mean? That's
like you said, it was PR kind of guff.
PR.
Yeah, it's just, here's the positive spin of here's what's going on.
So that's what people are getting.
So when we have all the scribes here with Trib Eagle, Casper Star, and again, we're getting interviews of the coaches after the game, interviews when we all go over for Media Day.
Yeah.
What is going to be your different take, for example, of Media Day, where we're sitting here and Coach Bowles answering questions A, B, C, D? What is your take on Media Day with Coach Bowl besides football?
Well, that's just a chance to ask everybody something. And in college sports, as you guys know, you don't get that opportunity very often with the whole team and access to everybody for, an hour, 2 hours? It's pretty nice. So that's a time where you go in well prepared and you have your stuff well prepared and you hammer down. And where I think we're going to be really benefiting from this is, while Casper and Cheyenne are putting together their preseason, packages that come out, which are good. I mean, no offense to them. I'm going to be pumping that stuff out every day. So I'm going to have stuff every single day. I don't need to come out with one shebang like I used to do in Douglas.
Are you a one-man show?
I have a staff of about 5.
Good for you.
We're all Wyoming natives, which I'm proud to say. So we've got a guy, I've got kind of guys who are experts in every little area, and especially the areas I'm not good at. But I wanted to bring something up, guy. I know you guys are big on jerseys and stuff, so I brought you guys.
Oh, don't do this to me now. Oh.
I brought you presents. I know you guys like the local guys like I do, so.
All right, so
the Herders.
The Glen Rock Herders.
Oh, the Herders. All right,
okay,
yeah.
That's going on the wall.
Thank
Absolutely.
you very much. See, I have to help him out on that.
Don't even at all.
All right, Douglas.
And then the Jackalope City.
Perfect.
Douglas, what are they again?
I don't know.
Bearcats. The Bearcats.
What am I expecting to know those lower classes? Sorry, I got to focus on Class 4A where it's at Cheyenne.
You need to know all.
Aren't these jerseys so much better looking than Central and East? Am I going to get you guys in trouble?
I don't know.
We'll go with that. No comment.
No comment on that one, especially as an
My
East
first
alum.
tough question.
I mean, it's not too bad. I like the updated, the Under Armour looks and all that stuff. I mean, Central is whatever. East, I got to show the hometown love for the former school of mine. But other than that, though, it's not too bad. But at least, hey, I am appreciative. I love that. Again, it'll find some spot where we don't have a whole lot of room here as we're kind of gathering a lot. But certainly do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Again, 7220sports.com. Starting up this Saturday. Go find it. Again, completely free as well, too. Give this opportunity as well for you, Cody, as we have social media sites here for Wyoming Sports Talk today for 1480 KRAE. Social media sites besides the website. Where can folks find you and also find information for this website, too?
Well, the website is just www.7220sports.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Cody_7220sports or the official Twitter of the account, which is at 7220sports. We're also on Facebook, and I was really encouraged. We got 1,200 follows in less than 24 hours, and that's with no advertising, no nothing. So
that's awesome.
I'm really happy about that. And I know those numbers aren't going to jump off the screen at many people, but we're fiercely loyal people in Wyoming, and I know that I know that this can really be a success, so we're excited about it.
Well, you got, let's see, a third of % of the state right now, so I think you're doing all right.
I told my wife that's bigger population than most.
You got more than Pine Bluffs right now.
Yeah.
All right, hey Cody, we wish you all the best, and
Thank you.
again, we'll be chatting with you from time to time, and again, you're always welcome to come in here and keep us abreast of what's going on that we may miss or we may faux pas.
There you go.
So definitely, I want to be corrected on our faux pas as well.
Maybe he could be my insight as well too to get a Wyoming jersey in here, since you kind of failed me on that one too.
I know Dog better than he does.
Yeah, that's where you get jerseys.
No, I'll talk to Matt.
Well, I need my Wyoming jersey. That's the only thing we're missing right now.
Can you just relax until media day?
I don't know if I
I
can.
need a 1996 number 23 if you can. Too.
You want a Marcus Harris?
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
Hey, you and I can go back. We can tell some stories. I'll say this before we let you go. When I was working at another place here in town, I had a really nice sit-down chat. You mentioned Joe Tiller, and we were staying at over in Vegas. Gosh, I can't even think of the name of the place now. MGM. MGM.
I was like, Fremont.
And,
where are we at?
and had a chance to back in the day record this all on cassette tape because we were playing it down our set, and I had a chance to sit down with Joe Tiller for about an hour and a half just before he's leaving. I mean, if they lose this game, he's off to Purdue.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that they beat BYU and they get a bowl bid. Well, talking to Joe, and I had known Joe since he was an assistant coach under Paul Roach, but just a great guy to talk to.
Yeah.
And what people don't really know about Joe was, I mean, not just because he was one of the guys here in Wyoming, I mean, knew sports, knew the territory, very innovative.
Yeah.
Him and the late Larry Corpitz.
Yeah, yep.
Their offense, I tell you what, if we had any type of a semblance of offense that those two gentlemen brought to the table at UW back in the day, today, oh my gosh, we would be explosive.
A lot of people don't know this, but Joe Tiller continued to give to the Cowboy Joe Club the entire time he was the coach at Purdue. And he retired to Buffalo, Wyoming, where he unfortunately passed away. And Josh Wallwork's flying in from Hawaii. Marcus Harris is flying in from Minnesota.
Ryan
Drew
Yarborough,
Brees, Yarborough, Mike Allstott. And nobody covered it, and that's kind of what made me snap and why I'm sitting right here today, fellas.
Yeah, and again, like I said, when you were talking about Joe Tiller, I was like right away. Remember just sitting down and just chatting with him for
December
about an hour
7th, 1996. I'll never forget that day. It was rough, Larry. It was rough.
Well, and here's the other great story about the BYU Wyoming game.
All right,
that at Sam Boyd Stadium. 2 beer concessions. And if I was the BYU beer concession guy from Vegas, I'd be screaming bloody murder.
No kidding.
Because the Wyoming contingent, they were great over on their side. The BYU side, there was nobody there.
No, I don't even think they drank pop at that time.
So Wyoming got wind of this, that nobody was over on the BYU side. So they said, well, you know what? We can head over here and we can help this guy out. But,
I was the saddest 13-year-old in the world that day. I remember sitting out in the parking lot literally crying on my tailgate. And the guy, a BYU fan, came walking by and talked trash to me, and he hit his shin on a trailer hitch and totally went head over tea kettle. So I laughed in my tears for a minute.
I was a little bummed out when Brian Gregor kind of took the safety in the end zone.
Yeah, kind of.
But that goes way back in time, and I don't want to age myself any further.
These are stories. These are players. These are all stuff that you'd expect on 72-20 Sports.
Yeah, exactly.
What a great team.
We can talk. And again, Josh Wallwork out of Gavilan College, Tracy, California. I'll tell you what, one of the better quarterbacks we had. And just real quick, what I liked about Coach Tiller back in the day too. He went to quarterback U, which was California. From Butte College up near Chico down to Gavilan College, which was in Central California. Bobby Fresquez out of Sacramento. I mean, I'm telling you what, there were some great arms that came through the University of Wyoming. We always think of the Wizard of Oz in Randy Welniak, but after Randy graduated, who was going to replace him? Here comes this great lineup of quarterbacks.
So you're telling me that you can actually go out and get JUCO players? Is that what you're saying?
That's the rumor.
Oh, don't even get us started on that one. The guys who have been saying, hey, recruit the JUCO sides, but
especially in basketball.
Ask Alan Edwards that question. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We are going to be back with more after these words here at 1480 KRAE. Cody, thank you so much for joining us.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
First Tier Bank's drives remain competitive and offer some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Spring is finally here and just arrived at Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company are the many varieties of Weeks roses now in the greenhouse. Also newly arrived in the greenhouse are the annuals, perennials, pansies, hanging baskets, tomatoes, veggies, and a lot more. Shop today where you know this year's growing season will be a plentiful one. From family owned and operated since 1977, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company on Yellowstone Road in North Cheyenne. Now open 7 days a week all season long. Is the touchscreen on your phone or tablet cracked or broken? Buying a new device could cost up to $1,000. Or you could let the local experts at High West Digital Solutions save you hundreds of dollars. We can replace your touchscreen in as little as a day, and your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 64. If it's tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 42. On Friday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 70. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy once again with lows around 45.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports.
1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 64. If it's tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 42. On Friday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 70. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy once again with lows around 45.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
The Diamondbacks bullpen, 10-10. That's right, 10-10 in the top of the 10th inning at Coors Field between the Rocks and the Diamondbacks this afternoon. I like it. I like it.
There's more important things going on today.
Yeah, that's right. Rockies are
game 1 of the NBA Finals.
We talked that thing to death. And we even
I'm excited. Again, it's a chance for three-peat. Again, continue this dynasty. We have news as well that was passed along that DeMarcus Cousins is active for tonight.
And again, they're still going to be the dynasty.
Yeah.
But
this is just trying to be historical.
This will cement that dynasty label.
Yeah, and I think it should. Again, I think, in my opinion, again, of what I've talked about with Golden State, again, I think Warriors get it done at 5. I don't believe
like
Toronto, especially now we do have DeMarcus back. KD is still questionable. Again, he's very doubtful for Game 2 as it is right now. Again, he was reevaluated today. Still looking to not even return even early on in this series, so we'll see what happens with Kevin Durant. But again, hoops coming up tonight again on at least on ABC. Right. They have it on at least the prime channel, prime time for Game 1 of the NBA Finals, where that's where it's going to stay at for at least every game.
Right, which of course is the ABC.
But anyway, so
ABC
again, as we talk,
ESPN family.
Yeah, again, NBA Finals underway, again, Stanley Cup Finals underway. So.
All right, and then real quick here, Houston Rockets coach Mike D'Antoni has ended talks with management about a contract extension. D'Antoni says he has plans to complete the final season of his deal in 2019-2020, which could become a pathway to his own free agency next year.
Or either does he just kind of say, hey, I'm done, I'm retired at this point in time. Mike D'Antoni.
I mean, he walked into a very good situation because
he's still in a good situation.
Remember when he was with the Lakers?
Houston is not going anywhere.
I know, but remember when he was with the Lakers, it was like the sky is falling when he was there. It was awful. And then
he spent time with New York, didn't he, as well, with the Knicks?
Yeah, I mean,
and again, that was awful of what he was situated there with that Knicks team that was just unbelievably bad. But right now, for Mike D'Antoni, I mean, why test the free agent market if he still wants to be a head coach where you have a good situation right now with Houston? Again,
and you said it best. I think he's 67. The Rockets right now.
I don't anticipate him retiring.
I know, but think about it. The Rockets are a franchise in flux because you mentioned it yesterday. The entire roster, not just anybody, the entire roster is available in trade talks, and 2 high-profile assistants were recently told by the organization that they're not going to be brought back next season. So D'Antoni's going, what the hell? And he's actually 68. So he told ESPN recently that he had hoped to coach at least 3 more years. He wants to coach to 71 years of age. But
like I said, what other job is going to be out there available at that time next year that is going to look attractive or at least get him to the promised land, get him a championship? Obviously, again, if Golden State kind of continues on the trend, L.A. is, does he entertain going back to the Lakers? But granted, they just hired on the new guy. Looking up and down of what could be potential, at least openings for the NBA, I mean, it doesn't look anything promising, or at least anything you could develop and stamp your legacy if you're Mike D'Antoni.
Now, it's interesting, too, as we mentioned yesterday, with everybody available from the Rockets. But the ownership, let's be real honest, they're pissed at the Rockets and D'Antoni.
Yeah.
Not once, but 2 years now, they've lost to the Warriors.
Mm.
And, again, they lose Game 7 last year. With Chris Paul
I think
being
Houston's
hurt.
lost 3 times to Golden State.
Yeah, but they got beat like 5 games, though, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They were not, because Chris Paul wasn't with them.
Oh, yeah.
But with Chris Paul being out in Game 7 last year, Warriors win. Boom, they're out. And you and me will agree. That was the NBA championship last year. They were
Cleveland had no business, yeah.
And then you look at this year's series, KD goes down. They're going, great. You know what? We got a shot at winning this thing. KD goes down in Game 5, and all of a sudden the Warriors turn into this team that they are.
Yeah,
and again, they are the epitome of team.
Beginning even before that series started there in the second round for Golden State and Houston, Houston already started out with the complaints and the excuses, the whining about how, it's the world against us, of how the refs are favoring the Warriors and no calls are going our way and blah, blah, blah. Houston's putting up all these excuses of why they lose to the Warriors, where I'm over here going, well, that's just going to fuel the Warriors now to just kind of whip on you and get it done even faster and just make it look even more pathetic.
They made them look silly.
Yeah, they made them look stupid out there. And right now, For Houston, you wonder what moves are going to be made of this offseason. Again, it's a team that can be aggressive. Will they? That is the big question mark. What moves will they at least what players are they going to move on out of Houston? Again, is Chris Paul on his way out to go wherever or at least be dealt to some entity? That could be a good possibility. I think that would probably be, especially of where we're seeing Chris Paul. He is not that talented guard that we saw of years past.
Hey, he's just starting to catch up.
It was that argument of, is it Chris Paul or is it Steph Curry? Again, you could even toss in where, again, it was kind of a three-peat with Kyrie Irving as well. But, at least for Chris Paul, he has definitely trended downward in his play style. And maybe that's where Houston kind of realizes maybe he's a little minor Achilles heel for this team to advance on and get past this Golden State team. But who knows what's going to happen this offseason?
What about Harden, though? What about James Harden? He's a great basketball player.
He's great during the regular season.
He's MVP caliber.
That's why I'm saying I don't anticipate Houston get rid of him because he is great during the regular season. In the playoffs, he peters out. He is nothing that special. We saw that this playoff series as well, where he trends downward. Where he's not the James Harden in the regular season. Where he's averaging 35 a night or getting 40.
But maybe
he's dominating.
Houston's putting way too much stock in him. See, again, the Warriors can say,
well, you know what he could do during the regular season. The postseason is just where he
Well, we know what Russell Westbrook could do during the regular season. Yeah. He's great, but you got to put a cast of characters around him. And they tried with
that's what Houston tried to do.
Paul.
That's what OKC tried to do. Again, Paul George, where you brought in Carmelo Anthony. You brought in all these entities.
There's a key factor there. Carmelo fails in Oklahoma. He fails in Houston. Carmelo, give up the game.
It's almost like he puts a curse on these franchises where Knicks are terrible. Houston can't advance in the playoffs.
But the Nuggets weren't bad. The Nuggets weren't bad with him, though. When he decided to bolt from the Nuggets, they were okay. Way back when.
Well, when he bolted, that was the kind of downturn for the Nuggets where they eventually found
but that was also
trying to get back up.
That was a downturn in his career as well.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick here. Just want to mention this. We got this note from the University of Wyoming. Speaking of which, since we had Cody in here.
Anyone's going to remember at this point in time because it's so far away.
Oh, it's all right. It's coming up on September 7th. Wyoming at Texas State football game. Set for 5 p.m. Mountain Time. That game will be played at Bobcat Stadium in San Marcos, Texas.
Beautiful stadium down
That'll
there.
be televised on ESPN+.
That means you have to have a subscription and watch it online. So it's not even on the U. It's not even on the 2. It's
on
nowhere.
ESPN+.
That tells you how much interest ESPN has in broadcasting that game.
All right, we got to wrap things up here on our side. Last night, as we have Monday through Thursday.